What is up, Retromaniacs? Welcome to the Retro Card Chat Podcast. My name is Mike, and I am from Mike's Retro Trading Cards, and I'm joined by two men that rarely wear underwear, but when they do, it's usually something unusual. They are your friends and mine, Joe Day and EP Eric Pahalik. How you doing, boys?
How did you know that?
I mean, you hang out with guys long enough, you figure things out.
Have you two ever been convicted of a felony?
Negative.
No.
Convicted? No, never convicted. Stripes for our younger viewers. Stripes.
Yeah. We don't have younger viewers.
That's true. That's fair.
Best movie of all time.
It's up there.
I've watched it so many times, but I haven't watched it in a while.
It's no Thor, Love, and Thunder.
No Thor, Love, and Thunder. No, absolutely not.
Had a Caddyshack? You ever had a Caddyshack?
Personally, yeah. I know. I'm sure probably a lot of people don't, but I mean, that was just always my go-to movie. You know, everybody has their, okay, just throw something on, you know. That was my original throw something on movie. And or if you're flipping through and like you come across HBO back in the day and it was on, you're like, oh,
I'm in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remote down, drop it.
Yep.
A couple years ago, Tito Puente died.
Yeah.
The singer. And as soon as I heard that Tito Puente had died, I was like, oh my God, I wonder what the girl that Bill Murray was dating at the beginning of the movie is thinking, because he says, you know, someday Tito Puente is going to die. And you're going to say, I've been listening to him for years.
That's what she said, too. She's like, I've been listening to him for years.
Right? I've been listening to him for years.
Oh,
so you can't go, all the plants are going to die.
You can't
go. All the plants are gonna. Yeah, I used to like. I mean, I don't remember as much because I haven't watched it as much lately. But I quoted everything from everywhere in that
such
movie.
A quotable movie.
Yeah. Who's your friend? Who's your buddy? I am.
I am. With this big toe, gonna shove it straight in your. Okay.
Yeah. I think I used the "Who's Your Friend" on this podcast one episode.
You might have. I think you did.
I feel like I did. Yeah. So, not my first Stripes reference.
Yeah.
So, how's it going, boys? Joe, I see you have a number up.
I do.
There, I'm afraid to ask, but the viewers are probably going to want to know.
Viewers are probably wondering. So, as you may or may not know, the three of us have been in a fantasy football league together since 1996. And I would say it's fair that, with the exception of like meeting in the playoffs or whatever, us playing each other is kind of like the biggest game of the week. Like if I play EP, if EP plays Mike, they've been in the same division since 1996. So they play each other twice a year. I don't get to play both of them every year. You know, most years I'll get one of them. But this year I had to go through the gauntlet, the Mike's Retro Trading Card Gauntlet, and face these guys 2 weeks in a row. The first week, I beat EP pretty handily. The second week, I beat Mike even worse. The combined score that I beat them by, 158.05. That's right. That's a lot. I whooped their asses. It was great. I could not win another game the rest of the year, and I probably won't because I played against DJ Moore on Thursday Night Football. But I beat Mike and EP back-to-back weeks. And I beat him bad, and it feels great. I love coming here as the champion of the regular season. Thank you.
So we've been doing this podcast for like 5 years now, and you wait until the year that like my team is clearly in a state of flux. I knew this coming into the year. I'm trying to rebuild on the fly. And now when it's really not an accomplishment is when you choose to share with the viewers that you beat us. Like, I'm not impressed.
The viewers don't know any of that. And they could be lying, viewers. Viewers, he could be lying to you right now.
But and the host, I would never lie to our viewers.
The fact remained, it felt good the last couple of weeks. It really did. I was nervous.
My team is always like 8-8. Like I never do the rebuild thing. I'm always like just kind of like this mediocre team, never get a high draft pick, all that sort of stuff. But this year, Jonathan Taylor's coming back, and like we were talking about that in text, and I replied at one point, if I got 3 Jonathan Taylors, I don't know if it would help my team this year. That's how bad my team is in that league this year. So he's coming back, but I need way more than that at this point.
I have Dalvin Cook. What more do you have to say?
I dropped him in a
You
league.
kept
knew
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook was at the end of the road, but I was hoping to get a little bit out of him one last time while I try to revamp. Drafted a lot of young running backs, hoping to replace. Yeah, he's completely worthless. So like,
It's been bad.
fell
I have
off
him in a bunch
the
of leagues.
road. He's over the cliff. He's done, washed up. So what are you gonna do? Sometimes consequences, the situation, I don't know, whatever excuse you want to throw out there. The stars don't align and I lose.
You do. And badly last week, as a matter of fact. So, again, 100.
Did I even score 50 points? 40 points?
It was actually,
I think it was like the lowest score I may have ever scored in the 20 whatever years we've been doing.
At one point, Mike texted me and he goes, "Can you text CMC and let him know he can stop scoring touchdowns? You've beaten me already."
I think he beat me, didn't he?
Actually, you might be right.
I think it was very close. Yeah. So, well, enough fantasy football. Like, people don't care about that. Like, all the other content creators are afraid of us. They don't want us in their leagues. So, let's not burden our viewers having to listen to all this garbage. So, how's it going, EP?
Doing good. I haven't been buying a ton of cards lately. I just I do have a potential mail day coming up. I got two lots of Tiki Barber lots. I'm not going to say the cards that are in there, but there's two
That's your boy.
pretty good sized lots. I'm a huge Tiki Barber fan, and I was one on ComC. I love ComC. We talked them up quite a bit, but I went on ComC and looked at his rookie year, and he's just got he doesn't have a rookie card in every set, but he's got a lot of really cool, even like low numbered rookie cards, like oddly number to 100, number to 10, like some.
Was he a first round pick or a second round pick?
I can't remember what pick
Don't
he was.
Think it was first.
He wasn't first because he wasn't in Finest, but he was in. He had rookies in a bunch of different products. So I'm looking at to get into him. He's a little bit expensive because he's a giant and he's a little bit of a popular giant, even though he didn't make it to the hall. But still, it's not like I'm collecting Barry Sanders cards or King Griffey Jr. cards. They're still a little bit less than that, but. Something fun.
Early second round pick.
Okay,
I looked it up real quick.
Oh,
30 seconds.
Did you have ComC send you the cards for the competition that we told our viewers about back in January that we never followed through on?
I did click a request shipment, and they said we're going to pick the cards at some point. No. They said we'll let you know when we start picking the cards. Is what they said.
Oh, okay.
So it is. I think it's been 6 days now.
I think
you sent a text saying, "Hey, are you going to get those cards?" So I did it like that day. But as far as I haven't got an email saying that they started picking, and I even checked it yesterday or the day before, and it's still in that very first. It's got a progress bar, and the very first step is you requested it. So that has not started yet, but it is on its way.
Okay,
at some point.
We may eventually follow through with that. I don't even know where my cards are that I got.
He has so many of whoever his card is that they're just like holding up his house as part of the foundation at this point. Is my
assumption. That's what EP's plan was, to wait long enough till I would get my cards and then forget where I put them, which is totally a great plan.
It's actually really good idea.
Oh, well, talking about ordering cards, let's get into it. We were pretty hard on Topps last week. Pretty hard on Fanatics. Michael Rubin probably wasn't pleased with me, but I got to say how it is. But I wanted to talk a little bit because we talked about the Bob Ross Joy of Baseball set that was coming out. Well, this guy right here, I got myself 2 boxes of it when it came out on Thursday. So pretty cool. I'm happy to get those, but they were a sellout. But the thing I want to talk about, and I'm sorry, Michael, I got to criticize you a little bit again.
Oh, no.
The Topps website is a complete and utter disaster. Like, if you want to 10x a hobby, put a little money into the website too. You need to upgrade your website because trying to order that was a fiasco. I was lucky enough to get through it. I was visiting with my mom like a little bit before noon. When it went live, I was on my phone. I was in my account and I was trying to get it. I left my mom's house. I went to the card shop. I was at the card shop for a while before I finally was able to get them into my cart. And then after I got them into my cart, it probably took another 20 minutes
Oh,
for
wow.
it to be able to check out. Like I couldn't even use like the quick Apple Pay checkout because it would go to the Apple Pay thing on my phone and it would try to process and it wouldn't be able to process. Like, so that was weird. Like obviously Apple Pay couldn't contact the website, the Topps website. When I was trying to look for them, like the case came up first, like before the boxes were. And like I kept like trying to refresh and I would get error messages. I was actually like DMing on Instagram with Ziggy No at the same time, and Ziggy was like, he ended up giving up because he was getting all kinds of error messages. I went on Twitter, all kinds of people were saying, yeah, I wanted to buy some, but I couldn't get through on the website. I was getting error messages. So it wasn't just that, you know, you couldn't get through. Like it was just like you couldn't do anything. You couldn't even try. So I mean, it's kind of disappointing that people out there that wanted to get these cards didn't even get a chance to because the website couldn't handle the traffic ads. So I feel like they really need to spend a little bit of money to upgrade that stuff. But at the end of the day, I do have 2 boxes coming and I'm really happy about that. Go ahead, Joe.
No, I was going to say, whoo, you got those 2 boxes.
I know. Yeah.
Like, I think you're going to have to open them up for the channel, right?
That's my plan. Like, I really hope that they don't jump in value. So I go, oh man, do I have to sell these now? Like, cause I do want to open them. Like I think they're great looking cards. Not everybody's cup of tea, but you know, I like them. So I'm excited and I should have video up at least opening one.
Was there any like big name in the hobby who might have thrown shade at him, like a big name like Big Bry kind of thing? Didn't he?
Big Bry, the card guy?
Big Bry, the card guy, I saw on Twitter making fun of the set. That kind of shocked me a little bit. Like considering all the weird shit that Leaf has done for all these years. It's
he said people will buy anything. So maybe he wasn't throwing shade. Maybe he was just like, yep, people will buy anything.
Yeah, that's usually
not matter of fact because of Leaf, right? Yeah,
I know this firsthand.
Right. I sold a cards. I sold a Superman card of me.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I sold cards that I bought and then had autographed, then put autograph stickers on from other companies and just put autographs.
And people bought them. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
People will buy anything. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong, but that's such a negative comment.
It is a cut. Yeah,
it's definitely a cut.
I mean, because apparently there were a lot of people that were very interested in the set. I'm one of them. Like, I don't buy a lot of baseball product. So, you know, the fact that I saw something that made me actually log on to the Topps website at the time it was being released to buy it, that says something. Like, it's a popular product because people like what it looks like. Go ahead, EP.
Yeah, well, I think you know, I think there have been issues with the Topps website in the past as for when it comes to bigger products.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, for this to be at that level, like a lot of people are excited about it, and like you never have a problem when you go to like one of the major retailers like Target or anything like that when you're ordering online. And I don't want to say Topps needs to be that way, but if they want to 10x the hobby, they're going to have to really upgrade. Like they
have to be better at least.
Yeah.
I think
quite a bit better, right?
I think it's worse than that. EP Fanatics has a great website, don't they? Like does anyone have problems with Fanatics ordering stuff like and having that issue? You know,
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure whether.
Like I'm curious if Fanatics website is as shitty as Topps has been for you.
Like, Topps website, when you go to it, it doesn't feel like it's from 2023. Kind of feels like that late 90s, early 2000s vibe. Like
kind of like ComC.
Kind of like ComC, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Yeah. I mean, they do have a lot of upgrading to do there, but like these are the things. If you want to grow the hobby, you need to build the foundation to be able to grow the hobby before you grow it.
Especially this thing that is making you money, like this thing on your website. This one thing on your website that makes you money. Like you can actually interact with people and have transactions. Like that should be one of the priorities at this point.
that people want.
If you're going to go,
buy.
right, especially if you're going to like, aren't they pushing to be more direct, sell more directly with customers anyway? Like they really need to.
Fanatics, we talked about this. They stole a lot of Panini employees. Maybe they should have stole like the IT people from Panini, because their website's actually not terrible. I mean, I haven't bought anything. I tried to buy things like Dutch auction style, but like their website seems kind of user friendly. Like you bought from Panini off of their website.
The app works really well. Yeah. I mean, for a popular product, like you need to try to keep clicking to add it, but like, I mean, that's normal. Like if you can't get through, like I feel like it's different that you have to continue to keep trying to add it because it's very popular than not even being able to get to the page or having error messages pop up or
being able to pay for it through Apple Pay, which should be super easy.
That part should be easy. Yeah, I've never had trouble. Like Panini always was good with taking the money. They've got it right.
that had to be an issue with server load, right? That had to be an issue with like number of people on the website and like because the website just couldn't handle the band, like the amount of traffic. It had to be.
Yeah, has to be. But one of the other things about that set too is though it's kind of controversial. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter saying they won't touch it because I'm not an expert on the situation, but the company that owns the rights to Bob Ross right now apparently got them from his family, bought them from him, but kind of screwed them in the deal somehow. I guess there's a Netflix documentary or something about it. I haven't watched it, so I apologize for the lack of details, but the main part of this is there are a lot of people that are like, I'm never going to touch that because this company that took his rights were shady and weren't fair about it. So like, I do understand that. But at the end of the day, I kind of like the product. So I don't know, like that's a weird conundrum. Like I do feel badly in the one respect, but like I like the cards and I feel like it is a celebration of his art, and I don't know. I don't know where you guys fit with that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like it's I'm torn to the fact like I also have not watched the documentary, and but my one buddy Rob that I do a podcast with, my buddy, he said to me, he's the one that told me about this, and he said that like Bob Ross's children, his family get nothing, no sort of payment for any of this sort of stuff. It all goes to this conservatorship or this company or whatever that bought it. So that is really upsetting. But I mean, his work is iconic. Everybody knows Bob Ross. Everybody knows his face, let alone his artwork, and his artwork is all awesome too. So it is really I'm torn because to have him immortalized in a card, his work immortalized in a card with these players that we like is really, really cool. It also feels kind of gross with the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm just like you, torn, just like you.
I mean, at the end of the day, too. I mean, don't trust anybody. Like that, like his family. Unfortunately, they trusted someone. From the sounds of it, they sold his IP to this company, and I mean, it really is a shame that they're getting screwed over in this whole thing, because there's a lot of merchandise, not just cards, by the way. There's a lot of Bob Ross merchandise out there. I go to Clark Toys quite a bit and order, some of the different football stuff, and they have Bob Ross Funkos, and they, Bob Ross, like, what are they, Neckos or whatever they're called. And like, he has a lot of merchandise out there. So it's tough from a collector's point of view. As you personally, one collector, you're not going to make, you're not going to make a difference. If the difference was going to be made by buying or not buying it, it would have been made by Fanatics by saying, we're not going to do this set because we don't feel right about it. Like, an individual collector who just wants to open up a box of cards is not going to make a difference, unfortunately, in what's going on with this. So I wouldn't feel bad about it, and I would just enjoy the rip. And like EP said, it's Bob Ross artwork, which is very cool to be immortalized on a card. So I'm looking forward to watching it on the channel. I think it'll be a fun rip.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing it too. Topps, Bob Ross is not the only partnership that they have. Yesterday, as we record this, which was Saturday, Topps and Lids were selling Mitchell and Ness Topps hats. They have the team names on them, and they have like a pack of like baseball cards embroidered on the side. And if you bought one of those, you got a pack of Topps Chrome baseball with 3 cards in it. I guess they have cards with a 52, 64, 79, 83, 93, 08, and 23 designs on them. Of course, they have autographs, they have parallels, but pretty cool partner. Now, I think that Fanatics owns Mitchell and Ness, and I know they own Lids, so I think it's all
Fanatics owns everything. Just
Yeah,
assume Fanatics owns it.
yeah, it's a partnership or a collaboration, but it's all one company. But still, it's kind of cool. Like, you know, I was talking with Ziggy about this a little bit too, and like I think it's cool. Like they do like a lot of collaborations in clothing and sneakers and stuff like that, and it's a pretty popular thing. I think it's cool. Like I was always a fan of getting the cards that came in food products or any weird way you could. So this is a little bit different than that, obviously, yes. But I do like when the card companies are doing special promotions like this.
Yeah, I was gonna say to our viewers, you know, I kind of want EP to turn his camera around because behind him there or behind the camera, there's like 70 hats that he had just bought. So, you know, he's all in on the special hats and
Just for the packs,
cross
yeah.
promotion, just for the packs, yeah. It'd be cool if the 52 was embroidered on the hat, like it was a chase and you got a pack of 52 tops with it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I don't think you
That'd be
actually
cool.
get a pack of 52
Aw, I mean, come on. Like, really, if you're gonna do it, do it.
Do it right.
Do it
Yeah.
right. Exactly. But yeah, your question is, I think Fanatics owns this. Come on, man. They're gonna own the whole world at this point. We are well on our way to everything being branded Fanatics.
But do you think we'll see more like collaborations, like with Fanatics taking it over? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
like that's I think a big part of their marketing plan is that they're going to want to draw people in that may not normally look at cards. Here's somebody that might want the hat because they collect hats that are going to get cards and be like, oh, pretty cool.
You know how they have bobblehead days? They're gonna have pack days. Like, it would not shock me if Fanatics is some sort of promotion with Major League Baseball where they just hand out. They might be doing it already for all I know. I mean, handing out like blaster boxes for, you know, the first 100 people or whatever, doing those type of things. I could totally see that, some sort of cross promotion with companies like that. Anyway, like you said, any way for people to get a pack of cards. Maybe this person who went in to buy the hat hadn't collected cards in 15 years, and it's like, oh, a pack of cards with this hat. This is cool. And then they open it up, and now all of a sudden, you know, it's like giving away the first dose of crack for free. And then and then you kind of reel them in, they get the itch. Exactly.
Well, I feel like the hobby is healthier when this sort of stuff is going on, and it definitely makes me feel better about it. Like I forget, was it LeBron James or maybe Vince Carter? They had the rookie cards that were in the packs with Matchbox cards as well. Remember those?
LeBron,
like there was Matchbox. LeBron, yeah, LeBron has those rookies. Like, so I mean that was a collaboration. I can see a lot of that. But when I was thinking about this as we were talking, like one of my favorite parts about the hobby back in like the 90s and like even the late 80s were walking into like KB Toys and finding those packs of like just random like sets of cards. And like I feel like the hobby is more robust and healthier when that kind of stuff is happening. So I do hope we see, like, obviously we don't want to have, we're kind of already in another junk wax era, but I don't want it to get to that level, I guess. I like to the point where everything is like everybody hates everything. But to walk around and see more cards in more places and more collaborations, more things, in my opinion, is a good thing. I get more
and
people
make
in
it
this
more
hobby.
accessible. Like, not everyone can go to Fanatics and buy a box or a case or whatever. So to be able to walk into, I think I texted you guys when I was in Central PA, they were selling packs of cards and repacks of sheets. You know, like, so
Also,
like, and that goes back to when we first started buying cards and we would see them in gas stations and things like that. So many people have come on and that we've talked on the channel, you know, oh, I bought my first pack of cards at a gas station at the corner. I think you did, Mike, too. Yeah. Like, so to have that ability to go out and just buy a pack of cards instead of having to buy a box, having to buy a case, having to go to the website, having to go through a breaker. I think instead of doing that, being able to like kind of be back on the ground a little bit, it makes a hobby healthier because it's not about having all the money and spending all the money. You can go and buy a $2, $3 pack of cards at the local gas station or fanatics, or I'm sorry, lids.
Yeah, the last 3 or 4 Pokemon sets that released, they put up a little like cardboard cutout thing at the Sheets with all single packs, and you could go buy single packs there. So I mean, like that again, walking around, like if you're in the hobby and you can spot it when you see it. Like I think it's cool when you're walking around, you're like, there's cards in CVS again. There's
Cards.
Yeah, they're cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's awesome.
Sadly, that Pokemon display, there was probably a 45-year-old man boxing out little kids who just wanted one pack, and they're just scooping them into their cart, weighing them. Like, that's the problem. Like, you have these nice little things, and all of a sudden, people are like, how can I make this gross? And they find a way. They always find a way.
So always find a way.
That's the tough part.
Well, speaking of special packs, Topps had this past week a hobby rip night promotion going on. It was 300 card shops in 40 states participated in it. They had special rip night packs that were there. I guess people showed up, they did trading and stuff, and there were a couple special people that showed up to the events. Apparently, at a card shop called Wax Packs and Throwbacks in Linwood, New Jersey, our old boy, Michael Rubin, showed up. And he didn't come alone. He brought with him
Jeff
Tom
Wilson.
Brady.
What?
Tom
really?
Brady. And
almost as good as Jeff
Montreal
Wilson.
Expos jersey. And apparently Kevin Hart and Travis Scott were there too. So,
all right, yeah, sure.
Yeah, Michael Rubin knows some people. Sure. We got to give him credit for that. So, yeah, just the card shop owner said he didn't find out until like I guess that afternoon that they were coming there too. So, like, I just as a card shop owner, like kind of put myself in that position, like getting the call, like, holy crap, Tom Brady's coming here.
Oh, no, when you own the card shop, it'd be, holy crap, Mike Tomczak is coming here. Is that who?
Neil O'Donnell.
Neil O'Donnell, one of those guys is coming
you
here.
would have been the one excited about that.
Oh, I would have gone nuts if Neil O'Donnell walked into the card shop.
And like they had a couple other people, I guess Jason Tatum was at one and some other. Yeah. So like, yeah. Going back to episode 1, you talked about how he wants to market the hobby. Like, this is the one cool thing that Michael Rubin knows a lot of people and have a lot of people that are willing to do this kind of stuff, and brings a lot of attention, positive attention on this part of the hobby. So we talked about a lot of the negatives last week, but like this is a great thing. Like 300 shops participating at the same day, like that's pretty cool. So I kind of made me miss not having a shop a little bit. Kind of wish I could have participated.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Got two workers right here.
Yeah,
not gonna do it.
I'll even invest. I'll invest a little bit. I'll invest.
You're gonna invest all of it?
I got some.
Not
Drew Jones
all
money.
of it. I mean, you got
Drew Jones money down there. I thought EP was gonna open his own shop with all that Drew Jones money, but yeah. So I don't think this will be the last. Like. Can you just imagine when they finally get their card shows going? Like those things are going to be completely different from anything like the normal card show people are used to going to, right? They're going to be huge events.
Yeah, I mean, and there is going to be that play. We've talked about this because EP set up a card show twice now in the last little while. So, like, these are definitely not going to be the card shows at the Susquehanna Valley Mall. These are not going to be card shows in a church. They're a different vibe. I think it's going to be one of those, it'll be a fun experience to go to one. And then it's like, kind of like the National. It's like, okay, I went to one. I don't always have to go. Where it's local, those smaller card shows, I think is what a lot of us would prefer. I will spin this a little negative because that's how I am.
Yeah. You sure?
Like I try my best. It's great that they're having these events. It's great they're doing these bigger marketing things, but you really need to make sure that the groundwork of everything else you're doing is perfect at a certain
point. Like the website working?
Like maybe the website working,
like
maybe
not
some
printing multiple SuperFractors.
Yeah, like
those
type of things. Maybe focus on that instead of bringing Tom Brady to an event. I both things can happen at the same time. I get that. But you really do seriously need to make an effort to make sure your stuff is coming out and it's above board, and you are not having the issues that your predecessor you've been complaining about all this time has had in the past as well. So I think it's great. I hope they do them in perpetuity, but get those ground level things done, you know.
Yeah.
Like you said, they have enough cash flow they can make both those things happen at the same time. I think like that's that they definitely should. I agree, but just thinking about this this whole thing, I love I've pictured in my mind that they have this map. Obviously, they probably used some random generation thing on a computer, but I picture them having this map sitting in this room. They have a map with all 300 locations that are participating, and just went like this. They close their eyes and put their finger down on New Jersey, and so they found like a shop in the biggest area, like biggest shop in the area that they pointed to, and they picked that one. That's the one where me and Tom Brady and Kevin Hart. That's where we're gonna go. And then they said okay, and then they did this, and then okay, Jason Tatum's gonna go there. And what this does, I think, is the next time they have one of these, people are like, oh my God, where is Barry Sanders going to show up? Where are these other people going to show up? So then instead of 300, now they have 600 or 1,000. And then the next time. So right. I really think this is a really smart idea on their part to really kind of grow this thing, which in turn will grow the hobby, which has been their calling point since episode 1, which we'd like to keep referring to. So,
and hopefully they'll do some kind of like co-op marketing with some of the shop owners and stuff like that. We've talked about that before too. Like, the comic book industry used to do a lot of co-op like marketing and advertising with shops. And, I think it would be great if they like take some of the money they have. The big events like this are really cool and it gets a lot of notoriety, but like give like all the local shops like the ability to do some marketing, do some special event kind of things, like provide them, with signage and some product to have like on a more individual basis for the shops. I think that'd be kind of cool too, that they could run some kind of special promotion or run a sale and have special stuff to give away. Like, do that more often. I know, they do some of that kind of stuff. Panini has too, but like really build it up a little more, like strengthen the core that you have there. So
I would be.
Go ahead.
I was going to say this is probably a test case. Sorry. This is probably a test case, right?
Yeah.
This is probably a test case kind of thing where they're going to like testing the waters and see how the people reacted to it, and then even the next one will be even more so. Like if they do get a huge bump, then all of a sudden, then the wheels start turning, and they can really turn it. Hopefully, like you said, Mike, hopefully they follow those things and do those things and really kind of push it. So.
By the way, that does not happen very often at all. That's how good of a 3-man group we are. Usually we know exactly. I would say I'd be a little remiss if we didn't talk about the fact that Fanatics is really pushing a certain type of card shop. So, I know they have requirements for card shops. Like they wouldn't have shown up to Mike's Upper Deck. Like
we take that back.
I won't take it back. They should. But they won't.
You.
Like they want those FYE manicured, very, very clean card shops. And I know we've talked about this in the past. Card shops had been a little nervous when Fanatics took over that they wouldn't be able to get product like they could. So yes, this is an awesome, fun thing for the hobby, but there are card shops that are going to be left behind, which sucks because those are the type of card shops that we would like to go to, or we maybe potentially owned several years ago. I mean, right? Am I wrong?
And we'll own again soon.
Right.
I mean, I do agree that I love that kind of card shop, but at the same time, I also understand from their perspective that they might not want to go into a card shop with stuff piled up everywhere on the counters and stuff like that. Like maybe a card shop I may have owned at one point, may have had from time to time. Like I will say, like, if I were back in that situation and Top said, well, we want you to be this way, I wouldn't like it, but I would understand why. And maybe they wouldn't be wrong. I might be like, well, yeah, I can see that, but I can't do that. So,
well, like we love Docs, right? Like Docs has all those cards in the middle of, on the floor piled up on these tables and like under the tables and above them. But there's not. I mean, if you had Tom Brady, like if you got like 5 people in there, that's too many people in there. Let alone have Tom Brady to have an entire event in there. Like they need to have, like, you can't have that kind of environment and have a lot of people there. So that really doesn't. doesn't work.
Yeah.
I guess I'm
All
more
right.
old school than you guys. You guys love the new futuristic looking like Apple Apple store type card shops. I'm like down and dirty, gritty, old school card shop. I guess that's just me. Must be just me.
When was the last time you were in a card shop?
Like a month
Tell
ago.
our viewers.
August. Yeah, when I was in town, we went to a card shop.
Like on your own without us taking you to one.
See, the closest card shop, probably about 3 months ago, because there's one in Green Tree. But the closest card shop I have is an F1. I went in one time and I'm like, nope, this is not for me. This is not for me. I'm not like you guys. I don't like those like fancy dancy card shops. I like the down and dirty gritty ones.
I know.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, moving on. We've talked a little bit about Panini. We've speculated maybe even about their future. Let's be real. They're not going to have a card license at some point in time, be it the end of 2025 or earlier. They're done. Like, that is a fact. Nothing about that is really going to change. I just saw that they got the license to produce EuroLeague basketball cards. Probably not something our viewers are terribly interested in, but I thought I would bring it up to you guys as a talking point, because is there going to be a Panini America, and is expanding in the European market, that they're an Italian company. That's where they started. They made the stickers. They were in Europe. Is this a sign maybe that they're going to concentrate on building the European market and the rest of the world up because they're going to not have anything left to do in the United States?
I mean,
am I overthinking it?
No.
No, I don't think so. But I'm curious on what the division is between Panini America and the mothership, right? I'm curious, if they're going to do their own thing regardless. And
I think
Panini America
if I understand correctly, that Panini America is like its own separate division of that company. I don't think there's any mix between the
right.
sticker company that makes stuff for the rest of the world. I think they're just focused on the products they release in the US. Unless I'm wrong about that, somebody correct me in the comments if I am, but I do believe that I have read that it's pretty much operates as its own individual company within the bigger corporate umbrella.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. I think they're just kind of doing things to, for Panini Italy, Panini Europe, whatever you want to call it. They're doing things focusing on how to expand their part of the business, and they might know hey, we're going to lose this stuff. Panini America, which does funnel their money to us, I would suspect, they're going to lose that portion of it. Let's focus on what we know, and that's this market. Because again, 2025 is your latest point that you're going to have the American licenses for the three major sports, and wrestling and all those other things. So let's start building up now for when we lose that stuff. And I'm wondering, do they use Fanatics printing company as well? What's the situation with them? I'm wondering who's printing those stickers.
I think this is really smart on Panini's part. Really, really, really intelligent. I think, well, if you think about it, the EuroLeague, a lot of those players end up in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
You think about the World Baseball Classic, where you have players like Shohei Ohtani, who didn't start playing baseball in America. So they have these markets, these global markets they could do. So I guess it's not a Topps rookie card, but you're still gonna be able to get like early cards of these players that right now, that I think that's a market that there's not a lot of. There might be some minor league teams that produce their own product, but for the most part, you're not. That's in America. So if they're going to keep going, which it seems like they are, they should. This is the place where they should expand to these other countries, going global, and especially with their presence in Italy already, with soccer and everything like that. It makes sense to me.
It's a good point. Good point too, because I collect wrestling cards, and independent wrestling cards are really big right now. And with the number of kids who are now bypassing the college basketball and going and signing with like a foreign professional league for a year or two before they enter the NBA draft. Like this is kind of a way, kind of like independent wrestling cards, like they're cards of these guys before they're drafted. And, you know, it's a major company, you know, if they do a Prism Euro League and like the next Victor Wembanyama comes in, like they're going to have a card of him if he's playing in a foreign league before Fanatics and Topps has one in the NBA. So like, I know that people like them in their professional uniforms, but they're going to be playing professional ball in a European league. So, you know, you're right, EP. I feel like there is possibility there that, you know, especially if the print runs are lower for those, like if you get a rookie card of somebody who is drafted 2 years later and it made for the European market and it's harder to get and maybe not as many of them made, like that could be very appealing to collectors.
It's like
and you can
team
still
sets. I was going to say it's like team sets of who was Griffey with, where he has like a XRC kind of thing. It was like it was a team set of whoever he played for.
The mother's
before.
cookie.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah. So I mean, if that may be how people are looking at it. This is a harder to get card. They are over in Europe. I will say though, how long before Fanatics looks at this and says, "Well, we'll have to sign certain players to exclusives," right? Like, I mean, they probably think that, right?
They might, but sure. But I mean, the thing, like, I was just thinking as you were talking, like the Prism brand will live on, the Kaboom brand will live on in these things, and like the people who grew up and love the Prisms, the Kabooms, the Downtowns, like they're going to be like, well, I can still get a Kaboom rookie card of this player in Europe, or you know, like even in Germany, like my brother-in-law's niece plays on a pro football team in Germany, so they have a pro women's football team. So just, I mean, that not just women's, like they have other leagues. So I mean, like football is big there too. Like I could totally see them, like there's probably a lot of avenues they could go and a lot of different opportunities.
You mean football or football?
American football. They're playing pro American football. Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, remember when we talked to Chris Sewell too? Like he said how big basketball was over there. Like other than soccer, like that was the biggest seller by far. And like basketball is incredibly popular, like worldwide. Like in Asia, it's incredibly popular. So, you know, like we do criticize Panini and make fun of them at times, but I think this is kind of a brilliant move. Maybe the US collectors buy into it or not. Maybe they become interested or not, but I feel like they're going to have a market for a lot of players and very early cards of them for the rest of the world. And I think they could probably do pretty well with that. So that'll be interesting to see.
You made me think though, it'd be like a downtown Barcelona, like a player playing.
Well, that'd be kind of cool though, right?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Or like from an Italian league, like I mean, that would be some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really like downtowns, but like if you have like with some of the things from ancient Rome in the background of the card, it's gonna automatically make it pretty cool.
As opposed to a cow being milked like he was on Aaron Rodgers downtown, or like what are you doing?
They have to make good choices. Yeah, you don't want to have a guy riding a scooter in the background saying "chow." So.
Now I'm seeing that, and that's what I want.
I know that could be pretty cool, actually. All right. Well, speaking of cool cards, Joe, I know you've been waiting for this.
Sure.
They finally let us know what the TacoFractor is all about. Did you hear, Joe? You didn't hear. I cannot wait to tell you, Joe. Instead of looking at the viewer, I apologize. I'm going to look at Joe when I tell him what goes on. It turns out.
Let me get into position here. Okay.
Get in position. Get yourself nice and ready for this. It turns out that the TacoFractors are actually potentially redemption cards. They are.
Sorry.
Taco Bell has had a program like steal a base, steal a taco with Major League Baseball. Well, for the World Series this year, the first player to steal a base in the World Series, if you have his TacoFractor, you can win a $15,000 Taco Bell digital gift card. And if the first player to steal a base is not one they've made a TacoFractor for, those 5 wild cards are the winners of the $15,000 gift card. So the TacoFractors exist solely for the potential to win a $15,000 Taco Bell gift card.
Hold on a second, boys. Let me just go to Fanatics website. What product is this out of?
It was in Topps Chrome and Cosmic Chrome, I believe, right?
All right. 2 cases of each. All right. I'm set. Wow. So it's a cross promotion thing. I want to say when we first talked about TacoFractors, I made a joke about Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Did Ruben watch our podcast? Because I think that's what ended up happening.
I think he had the deal in place before they made the TacoFractor.
Yeah, maybe I got some inside info I didn't know about. But yeah, that's what do they call it, EP? That's some synergy there between a couple of companies.
They also call it like corporate promotion. Product placement, maybe.
They also call it massive diarrhea for whoever wins that $15,000.
I was gonna make that.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh my god,
so much Taco Bell.
That's so much Taco Bell. How much is a 12-pack of Capos?
You can get a lot of tacos for $15K. Yeah,
they're like $1.50 each or something like that, or they're not $2, are they? They might be $2.
I have not bought Taco Bell in a long time with good reason.
That sounds amazing and terrible. Like in the moment, like slightly hungover, Joe Day is like, oh man, I could go for some Taco Bell right now. But Joe Day, a day from now, is like, why did you eat that Taco Bell? It's worse than the hangover. Like, oh my god. So okay. TacoFractors.
I mean, I think also I don't know if we talked about it here or if I saw it on Twitter somewhere, but like even people said like the taco logo on the TacoFractor kind of looked like the taco logo for Taco Bell. Like I think there were people that kind of like saying maybe there was something to go here, going on here in the first place. But I mean, to have it actually to pan out and be $15,000 worth is amazing. Like I love it, and it's I think it's great. Again, another thing that it's two big corporations working together, trying to help each other out. But as far as for us collectors, it's just another fun, cool thing. That's another one of those stories that's going to make it outside of our hobbyverse into the main news.
You mean when the person dies of eating too much Taco Bell? Yeah, it probably will end up making some news.
37% beef in that stuff they fill it with. Just saying.
Delicious.
37% beef.
Yeah, it is delicious. It really
37%.
I'm surprised it's that high.
You notice they can't call it meat or beef. They call
taco filling. Is it like taco?
Yeah. The reason I bring this up is like I want to talk about a bigger topic again. How do we feel? Like I know in the movies, TV shows, you have product placements. You have companies paying a lot of money to have that character drinking a Budweiser beer in the movie. It's coming to our cards now. Like, yeah, they've had like giveaways and stuff, but like I don't remember ever there being a company that made specific cards as part of a marketing deal and a product placement deal. Even though there's a giveaway at the end of the Yellow Brick Road, they're still placing their product in our product. Like we're opening a pack of cards and we're getting an advertisement basically for Taco Bell now. I'm worried it's not going to stop there. I don't know that I love it. Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I mean,
it's not going to stop.
They're gonna okay. I'm a big fan of WWE. People know that, and I'm like, I watched the premium live event on last night, and brought to you by Pizza Hut. They brought Pizza Hut out for the announcers, like the product placement is there.
Talk about another bad stomach decision.
They've been doing that a lot. Yeah, I thought of you too because it was the meal box. I'm like, I got one of those. But like, WWE is monetizing their product as much as they can. I'm not sure I love it for our cards, I don't know if I want to pull out, a Target exclusive card with the Target dog logo on it. Like we've
Wait,
already
isn't
had
that already a thing? I think that's a thing,
Is
isn't it?
it?
I'm pretty sure
but
it
on a
is.
regular card, like have a card of Drew Jones with the Target dog on the corner. I don't know. I'm not sure I like this because I'm worried about where it might end up.
First off, before we get into anything, I did the math. You can buy 682 of the Variety Taco 12 packs. So, like a month worth at least. So, you're set. You're set.
Wow.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Mike, but like everything
so
is it's so many tacos. Everything's like that. Like you look at the bowl games. The bowl games are sponsored by monster.com, or there's Tax Slayer Bowl, or like everything kind of has that sponsorship. And you, as a Michael Rubin, disciple, you have to appreciate the Michael Rubin hustle of trying to get other companies.
I mean,
10x
like,
the hobby. It's
I
10x
have
the
a
money for Michael Rubin, baby.
I have a marketing background, so like I am torn on this because like from the marketing standpoint, I love that. Like it's cool, but like as a collector, like we already have cards with tacos on them. And people were like, now that we know that the tacos are on them just because of Taco Bell, I don't know. Like I don't know. I like when it's actually on, like the Marlins were playing the Phillies. I've been watching baseball, love playoff baseball. I noticed the Marlins had gigantic ADT patches on their jersey, like on the sleeve, like way too big for being on a sleeve, by the way. And it's like, clearly they got paid a lot of money to do that. And I was like, kind of gross that they have a gigantic patch that's way too big on the sleeve of their jersey.
Never
just
watch
because
NASCAR. Never.
I know, like, but like that
Or pro
is
soccer,
NASCAR's whole
international
thing.
soccer.
But
yeah.
I mean, I know it's done, but it's never been done on a card. Like having a giveaway for Taco Bell is one thing. Having a TacoFractor be created and made and produced and put into the product.
I can't wait for the
to promote it. I don't know.
So
that's what I was going to say. I have 2 points. One, that the technology exists that they can do this and create this refractor that does these things. So you could essentially have refractor
they
cards
put a
with
picture of a taco, like anybody
they can
like
put
any third grader that's working with like an art program could easily have done that. Like
but
there was no thought put
then why have they not done a refractor with all Phillies logos? They did that with the Topps logo like last year in one of the products that the I forget what was even called, and then they're doing this one, Logo Fractor, yeah, and then they're doing this one. So like I think they've developed this, and they're going to start using it more. I look forward to collecting a Pepsi Fractor and collecting a Snickers Fractor in the future. But and I feel like
Fractor,
Pizza Hut Fractor. The thing is, like they're marketing, yes, they're marketing employees, but I feel like in 2023, most everybody knows the product placement. They roll their eyes when they see the Pepsi can. That's not actually selling them the Pepsi. We know when we go to the grocery store that they put the stuff on the end caps to try to get rid of it. They want us to get that. Like so. I mean, like I think a lot more people know that in 2023 than knew it before. And especially again with like Joe was saying, like all the different, like the bank names on all the stadiums and all that sort of stuff. So I feel like I mean, not that it's okay that we're dealing with it, but I wouldn't mind having a Pepsi Fractor. I would think it would be kind of cool.
Michael Rubin went into like the boardroom at Topps and said, "Okay, so what major companies have you put on cards so far?" And they're like, "None." He's like, "Whoa, what? How have you not done this? This is like a major thing in marketing."
Here's my list.
Here's my list: TacoFractor, Pepsi Fractor, Code Red Mountain Dew Fractor. I mean, when's the Bud Light Fractor? Monster. Monster Fractor.
Dude. I don't know.
EP would have the whole set.
All I know is I think product placement is silly, and I know our viewers are glad that we don't do that.
Mike's been holding that joke for a while. Of course, I don't have a beer in front of me. EP, do you have a beer in front of you?
I don't. I have some tea. Hoplark tea.
All right, guys. Well, gonna wrap it up this week with a quick look at the grading numbers from September. PSA did 1.2 million. CGC did 147K. SGC 115K. Beckett did 61K. The real story here is PSA graded more trading card game and non-sports than sports by 4,000 cards. And 47% of all the cards graded were trading card game and non-sport. Like, I'm sure the Lorcana release
I was just going to ask, do you think that had
was a
lot to
big
do with
reason for that with PSA? But like during the height of this, when they closed, did you ever think they'd open back up and be grading more trading card games and sports? Like, that's like a pretty huge milestone and really speaks to the popularity of trading card games. Like, kind of like 47%.
I don't know, and I that was my thought too, Mike. Is Lorcana just came out, so they probably graded a bunch of that stuff. I don't know if anyone ran specials. Well, HCA I believe ran a Lorcana special, so I'm sure that's somewhere in the news. But no, my first takeaway is: do people actually play trading card games anymore, or do they just like open them up and just send those cards to be graded?
A lot of people do, yes.
Yeah, there are a lot of tournaments,
but there are also a lot of people that don't. Yeah, so that's why they have such big numbers, because you're drawing the collectors and the actual. Although I don't know how many of the people that play like really grade, because you can't use the card
right
to grade it. So I don't know.
I could see people who are like really huge fans though, who have like their favorite card, the one that they won that big tournament, in Arkansas back in the day, like get one of those, get a really nice graded one of those to have that along with the deck that they're using to play. I could totally see that totally working.
Let us know in the comments if you play trading card games. Like,
right.
If you play, do you grade? Because I don't know. Like, I would actually be
Ziggy,
really interested.
How much Monopoly have you played? I need to know in the comments below.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, I think we'll wrap things up there this week, and I will see you next week.
Adios.
See you, boys.